Have you ever been stuck in a sewing rut where you want to sew, but somehow just can't bring yourself to start anything? You sit down to sew and somehow end up scrolling patterns for an hour instead of actually making something. Sound familiar? I'm Sarai and I've been sewing for almost 30 years and teaching you how to create a meaningful custom wardrobe for the last 15. Today, I'm sharing 5 things I actually do to get my momentum going so you can stop overthinking and get that excitement back. Here's the thing, sewing ruts happen to everyone. Even the most dedicated sewists hit patches where the motivation just evaporates. Sometimes it's burnout from a stretch of gift sewing, sometimes it's a season of change, sometimes it's just life getting in the way. The good news is that a sewing rut isn't permanent, and you don't need a major overhaul to get out of one. Sometimes it just takes one small shift to get everything moving again. I recently reorganized the sewing shed with a bunch of thrift store items, including these metal basket units I found. It gave me a chance to go through all the fabric I had and really think about what I wanted to keep and what needed a new home. And that's actually one of my go-to strategies for getting out of a rut, to just start pulling fabric out of my shelves. Not with any plan, just looking. Because if you've been sewing for any length of time, there's a really good chance you've built up a collection. Some of it intentional, some of it impulse buys from a sale table you can barely remember, and it's genuinely easy to forget what's actually in there. So that's tip number 1. Get reacquainted with your fabric stash. Getting back into your stash is like rediscovering a wardrobe you forgot you had. You pick something up and suddenly you remember exactly why you bought it, and just like that, you want to make something. That reconnection with your fabric is often all it takes to break the spell. So how do you know which fabrics are worth keeping? The way I like to think about it is pretty simple. Pick up each piece and pay attention to your first reaction. Either you feel it immediately, yes, I want to sew with this, or you don't. If it's not sparking anything, it's not the right fabric for you anymore. Pass it along to a friend, donate it to a school, or give it to someone just starting out. Clearing out the fabrics you're never going to use makes space, both physically and mentally, for the things you actually want to make. And for the shorter pieces that aren't quite enough for a full garment, don't be too quick to toss those either if they still speak to you. Think about what they could become. Pockets, contrast accents, a color block detail. Speaking of stash busting, if you want to finish something genuinely beautiful this weekend, our new sorrel tote bag pattern is the perfect low pressure project for getting your momentum back. It's fully lined, shaped by darts, and comes together in an afternoon. The kind of make that reminds you just how much you love to sew. It's completely free this summer, so be sure to grab your copy using the link in the description. A couple years ago, I was feeling really tired and burned out and just wanted to do some easy, mindless sewing. So I went on a tote bag making frenzy. I made a whole bunch, some for myself, some for friends and family for gifts. Just the other day, I was out with friends shopping at a nursery for plants, and someone complimented my colorful floral tote bag. It only took me about 30 minutes to make, but it's still making me proud years later. One of the things I always come back to when I'm feeling stuck is this: the size of the project matters. It's so easy to think that the solution to a rut is a really exciting, ambitious make. And sometimes that's true, but more often than not, what actually gets the wheels turning again is something smaller, something you can start and finish without a lot of back and forth, a project that fits the moment. And for me, nothing fits that bill quite like an accessory. And that's tip number 2. There's no fitting, no complex construction to think through, and most accessory projects come together quickly enough that you can actually finish something in a single sitting. And of all the accessories you could make, a tote bag is one of my absolute favorites for this. And because they're so genuinely useful, you end up with something you'll reach for every single day. I personally keep at least 3 on rotation just for my sewing. Works in progress, trips to the shed, everything. It's the kind of make you finish and immediately start using, and that feeling is exactly what gets you back in the flow. If you want to take the tote bag idea a step further, the sorrel pattern is the best of both worlds. It's still a quick, satisfying make, but the dart shaping and lining means you're also practicing techniques that show up constantly in garment sewing. This is exactly why sorrel is such a smart project when you're trying to rebuild momentum. You get a beautiful finished bag, and you come away having actually learned something. This spring, I had so many things I wanted to sew, from wrap dresses with really time-consuming details to a denim skirt with tons of top stitching. I was feeling kind of stuck on what I wanted to sew next because they all seemed really involved. So I decided to take a break and sew up a tried and true pattern instead. I made myself yet another Alice long sleeve t-shirt, this time in merino wool. Sometimes the best way to keep that momentum going is to take the decision fatigue completely off the table. Because one of the biggest things that stalls sewists, even experienced ones, is that feeling of I don't even know what to make next. There are so many patterns. You've got a dozen on your sewing table, another 50 bookmarked online, and somehow the abundance of choice makes it harder, not easier, to just start. The simplest fix: sew something you've already made. So that's tip number 3. Reach for a tried and true pattern you already know you love and just take the whole decision out of the equation. There's something genuinely freeing about sitting down to sew when you already know how it's going to turn out. No second guessing, no stopping to reread the instructions, no wondering if you're going to like it when it's done. You already have all of that figured out. So instead of spending your mental energy on problem solving, you can just be in the making. And that's where sewing starts to feel like the relaxing, creative practice it's supposed to be. That flow state is hard to find when you're navigating something new, but with a pattern you already know, it almost happens automatically. I actually have a whole video where I talk through my own tried and true patterns and how I identified them. So I'll link that in the description if you want to dig into that further. Now, here's where this connects back to your stash review. Remember that fabric you pulled out, the one that made you feel something? Now is your chance to use it. Pairing a pattern you already love with a fabric you're genuinely excited about is almost a cheat code for sewing motivation. You already know the finished item is going to be something you wear all the time, and now it's going to be made into something you've been waiting to cut into. That combination, trusted pattern plus special fabric, almost never disappoints. I recently did a big closet clean out, and as I went through some of my old makes trying to decide what to keep and what to donate, I realized something. There were projects I'd spent hours or days working on, but was thinking of tossing just because of one small detail or flaw that I could easily fix. If I just gave them a little more love, I could have that garment back in the rotation again. Because sometimes you don't even need to make something new at all. One of the most underrated ways to reignite your excitement for sewing is simply to show your existing wardrobe a little love. We all have them, those pieces we reach for constantly, the ones that just work, that have been with us through everything. And then one day something small gives out and suddenly that piece is living on the chair, in the corner, instead of in your closet. It happens so gradually that you almost don't notice until one day you realize you haven't worn that favorite top in months. That's tip number 4. Give some love to the pieces that deserve a little attention. Those small fixes are such a good entry point back into sewing because the payoff is immediate. You spend 15 minutes at your machine and suddenly a piece you love is back in rotation. That feeling of taking care of something rather than creating something from scratch can be exactly the gentle re-entry you need. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If I start looking through my closet for things that need mending, where do I even begin? Here's my answer to that. Look through your wardrobe for the pieces you love that just need a small fix. A loose hem, a missing button, a seam that gave out. These are 15-minute projects. Pull everything that needs no more than 30 minutes of work to the front of your closet. Now you've got a ready-to-go mending queue waiting for you whenever inspiration strikes. No decision-making, no setup, just sit down, sew something you love back to life, and let that momentum carry you forward. And speaking of ready-to-go projects, if you haven't grabbed the sorrel pattern yet, it's free in the description. A beautiful afternoon make waiting for you whenever inspiration strikes. When you're in a sewing rut, your space might have more to do with it than you realize. I mentioned this earlier, but I recently reorganized my sewing shed after it had gotten completely out of hand. Scraps everywhere, tools spread across every surface, notions buried under fabric I didn't even remember buying. And honestly, I hadn't realized how much it was affecting my motivation to sew until I finally sorted it out. The transformation was incredible. Everything had a home, I could find what I needed without digging, and suddenly the space felt genuinely inspiring to be in again. I actually wanted to be in there. So rather than immediately reaching for a new pattern or a new project, what if you made something for your sewing room instead? That's tip number 5, and a refreshed sewing space can do more for your motivation than you'd expect. Because there's something really special about reaching for pressing tools or pattern weights that you made yourself in a fabric you actually love. You could make them to match your sewing space aesthetic, use up some of those beautiful scraps from your stash, or just make something that makes you smile every time you sit down to sew. That level of personalization is something you're just not going to find in a store-bought organizer. The best part is most of these kinds of projects come together really quickly. We're talking an hour or less for a lot of them. If you're not sure where to start, I have a video on the channel with 10 DIY sewing tools you can make yourself that might give you some inspiration. I'll link it below. And now that you've got your momentum back and you're feeling excited about sewing again, the next step is keeping that energy going, building small, simple habits that make showing up to sew feel effortless and natural, even on the busiest days. If you want to know what those habits actually look like in practice, watch this video next.